For anyone that's watched the channel for a while now, you know that I absolutely love shoes from Vivobarefoot, but today I thought I'd give another brand a try. So we've got not just one pair, but 3 pairs of Xero shoes. So let's check them out. Now the weather is getting a lot warmer now, so apologies for the sweaty brow if you can see that. But I thought it's time, I'm going on holiday soon. I want to get some shoes. Well, it actually all started off, I just needed a pair of sandals, which is what I've just bought. And then I thought, while I'm shopping around for some sandals, why don't I get some shoes as well? So that's why I've ended up with 3 pairs from Xero. I thought I'd give them a try, test them out, see what they're like, compare them to Vivo's. And that's how we're in this video. So let's take a look at the sandals. So starting with the sandals, these are the Aqua Cloud Versatile Water Sport Sandal. You'll notice the tag's still on them, you'll find out in a minute why. Dead simple, it's a sandal. The real reason why I've been looking for sandals is because I've actually been wearing a pair of flip-flops, fake diesel flip-flops that I bought from Thailand 7, 8, 9 years ago now maybe? What year are we in, 2024? Yeah, like a long time ago. So they're like 7 years old, super thick. They actually fit really well. They're a size 18, whatever that means in Thailand. They fit. I've climbed quite literally mountains. Not that big of a mountain, but I was on holiday, so I just did a bit of hiking. I was wearing a vest and flip-flops, so you know, truly prepared for the extremes. But those flip-flops have been doing great, but they're starting to wear away. They're uncomfortable, or getting a bit more uncomfortable now because they're just getting mushy and too thick. So I thought I'd get myself one of these. And there's really not much to talk about here in the sense that it's quite literally just a sole with some string, goes between the toes. But the other thing as well is it goes around the heel and you can tighten and lock your feet in place. Other than that, super thin sole, and there is actually a little bit of cushion. You probably can't see it on the black one. You can see it if you check out the website. You can see they've got a couple of different colors, but there is kind of like a foam, I guess. I don't think it's a gel, but it's kind of like a foam thing. So it just has a little bit of a softer bit under the foot. And it's got a nice little heel bit as well to keep your heel in instead of sliding off the back. And that's it. The other shoes I thought I'd try from Xero were the Dylan Canvas. So these are the Dylan Canvas. Exactly what it says, a nice, lightweight, flexible canvas shoe. Decent bit of sole on these actually. What I've noticed with the Xero shoes is they've got a bit more depth, I'd say depth in the tread, just more depth on the sole, on the outsole. So there's a little bit more thickness there. However, you can also take the insole out, which is nice to see. So you can then get that a bit closer to the ground. And again, feels good under the foot when your feet are inside it. That canvas continues through. Comes in a couple of colors. We've got black, we've got gray, and there's a nice, to be honest with you, it slides on easy. They've got this elastic bit here that you can see, allows you to just slide your feet in nice and easy. And then we've just got a nice bit of padding around the ankle heel area as well. So the canvas on this is nice and soft, feels nice on your feet with the insole in or out, feels nice underfoot, doesn't cause any irritation or anything like that as far as I can tell. There's actually also just a little, I don't even know how you describe it, like a kind of like a suede like material just at the heel. I suppose that would give a little bit more grip on the heel just so they're not sliding off the back of your foot as you walk. It's hard to actually see unless you get the light to catch it, but you can just feel it. If we could just feel it with my fingers. So the canvas is quite smooth, and then just at the back you've got that extra bit of grip. So it slides on nice and easy with the elastic, then the grip on the back stops your feet from sliding out. Also like the nice little Xero detail on the back there in orange, contrasting to the black. And then the third pair that I bought were the Nexus Knit. Now, I realize I clearly do have a bit of an addiction with green shoes, just like green now, this forest green, whatever it is. I've got 1, 2, 3 pairs of Vivos now that are in green. This is very similar, if you've had any Vivobarefoot shoes before, this is very similar to their Primus Light Knit. So again, that knit upper, it's the closest thing you've got to a traditional trainer, let's say. It's got a sock-like upper around the ankle, and yeah, lightweight, flexible, the usual stuff And if I can get it, just like before, a removable insole, so you can get even closer to the ground. One thing I have noticed across, I suppose, I was gonna say three, one of these is a pair of sandals, but across the pairs of shoes that I've got, the one thing I immediately notice is the soles on the Xero shoes, the outsole, yeah, the outsole is typically, at least from this very small sample size, a little bit thicker than what you would find in Vivo shoes. Not necessarily a bad thing at all, especially if you're someone that's getting into barefoot shoes. Nice transitional, and you can always have that insole in to give you a little bit more padding as well. This has also got a nice little bit of padding around the heel as well, which is appreciated. Feels nice on the foot. The materials feel premium, feel quality, feel very similar to a Vivo shoe. So yeah, you kind of, you're in, I'd say you're in familiar territory, to be honest, if you're comparing these to Vivo on just kind of like the feel and structure of them all. I mean, arguably you might say, and I've only bought 2 pairs of these, but I have bought more Vivos, is I can't see any defects on these at all. So, you know, good marks there. So when I'm looking at these shoes, they look good, they feel pretty good, the materials are solid, pretty sturdy. Like there's nothing immediately wrong with them when I look at them. And as I said, I am going away soon. The weather's getting nicer at home as well. I needed just another excuse to buy another pair of shoes, so I thought I'd give these a try. For anyone that doesn't know, I am a UK size 14, so I mean, you don't know how big my head is, so it doesn't really help for scale. I've got anything for scale. This is a iPhone 14 Pro Max, so it's the big phone. Shoe for scale, so yeah, I don't whether that actually helps you or not, I don't know, but that gives you a sense of just how big my feet are. Look at that, look how big my feet are, my God. So I've got big feet, as you are aware, and herein lies the problem. Basically, these just don't fit. They fit, sort of, however, they are not, in my opinion, any wider. Maybe they are wider than any traditional shoe because they tend to taper off a little bit more at the toes. However, you know, they're not super narrow. They do go wide. They still seem to taper at the toe. It's really annoying. So around here, so it fits my feet. It's got decent width, I'll be honest, on the Nexus knit. So it fits the width of my feet, just about. However, it just tapers in around the toes, just at the wrong place, for me anyway. And again, I can't size up, I'm at the limit. So I think maybe if I'd have gone a size, if I could get a 15 in these, which sounds crazy, then they might fit a bit better because the taper would go further away from the toe, because they are a little bit short as well. So yeah, it's just not the right size. What I have noticed, this is a UK 14, but it says it's a Euro 48, whereas this is a Primus Light Knit. Kind of similar-ish sort of style, as you can see. Sock and trainer. But yeah, these are a Euro, these are a size UK 14, but they're a Euro 49. But I mean, they are, as far as I can tell, the same length. Although, if you'll also notice, this has got like a curve up at the toe, so maybe there's something there. Not really sure. You know, the Vivo, even these Primus Light aren't the widest. They're a much better fit because they're just a bit wider than these still. So again, there's still more width in the Vivos, in my experience, than there is in the Xero shoes that I've got, the Nexus and the Dylan. So wider than traditional, still not the widest. And that also applies to the Dylan as well, like I just said. So again, it has the width, although these feel even more narrow to me. You can see on the side, my feet are kind of bulging out the side anyway, just a bit. And, you know, I feel like it's draining me of energy with frustration. They're just pressing against the edge, man. It's so annoying. And then that taper. So there's another weird thing, is I actually had my feet scanned, and I did another scan recently for the new Vivo Biome shoes. And it measures positioning of your feet and your toes and things like that. Now, if you look at my feet when they're relaxed, I think it's because of old shoes and what they've done to me. Pretty sure, because I used to stuff them in. My toes would even go numb in some shoes, which is crazy. But you can see that my big toes naturally kind of go towards my other toes. However, because I have been wearing wider shoes, my toes, my big toes especially, can actually inhabit the space if they go straight out. So what that means is, even though I might be able to physically put my foot in the shoe, when I'm walking around or like flaring my toes out, they are going to brush, and they brush against the edge, and it's the most horrible sensation, because you know, you do a few miles of walking in that, it's going to really start hurting, irritating, get numbness in your toes like I used to have, whatever it may be. It's just not a great experience to be having that rubbing, especially if your toes have started to spread out, go back to that more natural positioning. Just to wrap all this up, I don't want to be a Xero Shoes basher. I'm not trying to hate on them. I'm kind of a little bit annoyed, to be honest with you, because the shoes do actually look and feel that they feel decent quality. They look pretty decent. Some of the styles do, not all of them, but some of them do look half decent, let's say. I quite like this canvas style shoe. I'd love to be able to get a slip on that fit. It is a real shame that these just don't fit, that's all. I'd honestly keep these. They're also cheaper as well. Like the Dylan are, at time of recording, 80 quid. So, you know, not the cheapest for a slip on. I don't know what like other things like Toms or Vans or whatever go for nowadays, but 80 quid for these, whereas Vivo, their starting price for the Primus Lite I think is like 130 quid, you know, so there's a bit of a saving there. The Nexus, 100 quid, so 100 quid for the Nexus, so again a little bit cheaper there as well, so you're incrementally saving a bit. And then the sandals, how much were the Aqua Cloud? And then the Aqua Cloud were 50 quid for what is basically a sole with a string around it. Really gutted about the Dylan, real shame that it didn't fit. And like I say, it is just that little taper that just doesn't cut it for me. It needs to, you know, because it's still quite rounded off. So, you know, but like it feels like, and this isn't just Xero that I'm talking about now, by the way. It's like with some of the Vivo ones as well. It feels like they need to just not taper it. It needs to just like, it needs to just keep coming. Just keep it, just bring that swoop out just a little bit more. I know it probably looks absolutely ridiculous. Maybe it's just me. Leave a comment if you think the same. Maybe we should just literally go for rectangular shoes. The Nexus is the same, like I said, taper again. The other thing actually that I did forget to mention, and this is quite interesting, and this probably will vary depending on your foot shape, but for me, the Xero, this, not with the Dylan, not with that canvas shoe, but with these, the Nexus, they're actually really high, which I know sounds like weird, right? But because they are high, now if you've got a high arch or high feet, then you're not gonna have a problem. But for me, I guess I've got flatter feet in that respect. So when I put these on, and as you can see, when I when I want them to feel tight, they end up just bunching up over the top, which is just, in my opinion, it just doesn't look very nice either then as well. So, and because even though it is sock-like, it's not as sock-like / sleek as the Primus Lite. So yeah, you can kind of, so I mean, it probably doesn't translate that well on camera, but, and maybe it's just, no, it's definitely higher. Yeah, you can just see. So the Primus Lite is just that little bit lower, and because of that, you arguably almost don't even need the laces on this, because for me anyway, these are tight enough but stretchy enough that you can put them on. They fit like a sock. They just happen to have a lace. These, on the other hand, need tightening down. There's like extra weird space around the ankle, and then yeah, the sock-like nature is fine, but unless you've got absolute cankles, it's just like too much of a gap, and then there's too much height in the foot, so you have to like tie it down, and then it just looks a bit weak sauce. So sadly, that is my first experience with the Xero shoes, and I'm gonna have to send the Dylans and the Nexus back because they just simply don't fit. And I am actually gonna send the Aqua, what's it called again? Aqua Cloud. The Aqua Cloud sandal back, because there's no typical sizing issue there in my experience. It just doesn't seem to, I don't seem to be able to lock it down onto my foot well enough, and because of the size, it's kind of hard to again show, but because it's literally just a floppy sole as well, and you're gonna probably look at me and go, obviously Harry, this bit here is just a little flimsy. It feels a bit too I'm sighing with dismay because everyone always takes the mick out of me because they say I've got paddles for feet. These feel like I'm wearing paddles. Look at these things. Just no, unfortunately. It's a no, and it's a real shame as well. It is a real shame. That is my experience with them. I am actually very disappointed because they're a little bit cheaper than Vivo's without necessarily physically feeling any cheaper. The quality seems to be there. It's just the fit. The fit is just not good enough, in my opinion. Again, I've had Vivos. I've got loads of Vivos. They're not perfect either. Some of their shoes do fit me really well. These, the first two pairs that I've tried, just don't. I've tried the maximum size. They seem smaller than the Vivos. So unfortunately, they're going to go back. Now, they also don't have a 100-day trial period like Vivo do. They just have 14 days. So I've not really worn them long enough. I've not been able to like live with them as much as you might be able to with Vivo. So yeah, maybe Xero could try some sort of longer term policy to get people to try their shoes for longer. I'm not sure how much it actually costs Vivo to offer something like that. But yeah, I think that whenever I'm speaking to people about Vivos, like you're watching this video, you want to learn about barefoot shoes, you want to learn about Xero, you want to learn about Vivo, whatever it might be, it's so much easier to say, hey, get the size that you think you are, try them for 100 days. If you're not happy, send them back, no issues. That's a great way of overcoming any concerns because you can just try them, literally try them, go out, wear them, live with them, and then just send them back. With the Xeros, you can't. So maybe it's because they're a smaller company. I assume they're a smaller company. You get loads of cool, sweet letters from the owners, the founders of the company. But yeah, unfortunately, it's a no from me. So I'm gonna have to keep shopping around, keep looking around. Comment down below for what the brands I should try. I think there's is the Merrill, there is Feel Grounds, there's a bunch of other ones that I want to try. Remember, I'm a size UK 14, and as far as I can tell, maybe a Euro 49, if that helps anything. Don't know. Leave comments down below. If you're interested in trying, I'll leave the links for the shoes, for the Xero shoes in the description. I'll also leave a link to a Vivo discount code. If it's your first order on Vivo, you can save 15% or 10% if it's not your first time. So thank you for watching. Hopefully it's been helpful. I will keep looking around for some potential Vivo alternatives. As of right now, sadly, it's not Xero. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.